56 years. That's how long the Dodge Challenger has been shaking the ground beneath America's feet. From the streets of 1970, where muscle ruled everything, to 2026, where technology meets raw, unfiltered power. But here's the real question. If you could choose only one, which era of Challenger would you take home? Buckle up, because today we're about to find out. Let's jump into our time machine and go back to 1970. Nixon's in office, Led Zeppelin is on the radio, and Dodge just dropped a bomb on the automotive world. The 1970 Challenger RT. This wasn't just a car, this was a statement, a middle finger to boring sedans and anyone who thought practicality mattered. Under that long, aggressive hood, the legendary 426 HEMI 7.0 liters of pure American fury, 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque that would rip the asphalt right off the road. 0 to 60, about 5.3 seconds. And in 1970, that was insane. This thing could run the quarter mile in 13.7 seconds. But here's the beautiful part. It wasn't about the numbers. It was about the experience, the sound, the vibration, the smell of burning rubber and high-octane fuel. This was muscle in its purest form. Now let's fast forward to 2026. The world has changed, technology has exploded, and Dodge, they said, hold my beer. The 2026 Challenger. Specifically, let's talk about the last of the breed, the absolute king, the Challenger SRT Demon 170. This isn't your grandpa's muscle car anymore. Under the hood, a supercharged 6.2-litre HEMI V8 pushing out an insane 1,025 horsepower on E85 fuel. Let me say that again. 1,025 horsepower. That's 490 pound-feet more than the 1970 model. 0 to 60, 1.66 seconds. That's not a typo. 1.66 seconds. This thing can pull the front wheels off the ground. Quarter mile, 8.91 seconds at 151 miles per hour. It's faster than million-dollar supercars. It's got launch control, line lock, carbon fiber hood, adaptive suspension, and enough technology to send a rocket to Mars. But here's what's crazy. It still sounds like a Challenger, that deep, menacing V8 rumble that makes your chest vibrate. Dodge took everything that made the 1970 legendary and turned it up to 11. All right, let's talk looks. Because muscle cars, they're as much about style as they are about speed. The 1970 Challenger was designed in an era where curves meant everything. That long hood, short deck proportion, the aggressive front end with split grills and dual headlights, those iconic body lines that flowed from front to back like a predator, ready to pounce. And the colors, plum crazy purple, Hemi orange, go mango, sublime green. These weren't just colors, they were statements. You couldn't hide in a 1970 Challenger. Everyone knew you were coming. The chrome bumpers, the billboard stripes, the shaker hood that literally moved with the engine. Pure automotive art. Now look at the 2026 model. Dodge took that DNA and evolved it. The proportions are similar. That long hood is still there, but now it's wider, more aggressive, more planted. The wide body fenders are like shoulders on a heavyweight boxer. The headlights are sleeker, meaner. The hood scoop isn't just for show, it's feeding that monster supercharger. And yeah, it's got modern tech, but look at those retro design cues. The split grille is still there, the hockey stick bodyline, still there, the rear haunches, even more muscular. Dodge didn't reinvent the wheel, they perfected it. Now here's where things get really interesting, because on paper, the 2026 destroys the 1970. It's not even close. More than double the horsepower. Nearly 200 horsepower more. 0 to 60 in a third of the time. Quarter mile that's almost 5 seconds faster. The 2026 has adaptive suspension that adjusts in milliseconds. launch control that can manage every ounce of power, Brembo brakes that could stop a freight train, traction control, stability control, multiple drive modes. It's a computer on wheels, but, and this is a big but, the 1970 was raw. No electronic nannies, no computers deciding how much power you could handle. It was just you, a clutch pedal, a 4-speed manual transmission, and 7 liters of angry American V8. If you wanted to do a burnout, you did a burnout. If you wanted to lose control, oh, you definitely could lose control. The 1970 required skill. It required respect. You had to learn to drive it, to feel it, to understand its limits. The 2026, it makes you feel like a superhero. Press a button, let the computers do their thing, and you're running times that would embarrass supercars. But is that better? Or is it different? Because both of these machines will put a smile on your face, just in completely different ways. Let's get real for a second. Numbers don't tell the whole story. Because driving these two machines, it's like comparing a wild stallion to a genetically engineered racehorse. Slide into that 1970 Challenger, the door closes with that solid thunk of American steel. The interior smells like vinyl, gasoline, and history. You turn the key, and that HEMI fires up with a rumble that shakes your soul. No sound deadening, no isolation. Every vibration, every explosion in those cylinders, you feel it. You grab that pistol grip shifter, and yes, it literally looks like a pistol grip, and you drop it into first. The clutch is heavy. This car demands your attention. You give it gas, and the carburetors pour fuel like there's no tomorrow. The acceleration isn't instant. It builds, like a wave rising before it crashes. And that sound, oh man, that sound, it's not refined, it's not quiet, it's angry. Now, the 2026. You press the start button, and that supercharged HEMI awakens like a caged beast. But it's different, more controlled, more refined. The steering wheel feels modern, precise. The seats hug you like a race car. You select track mode, enable launch control, and hold on. When you floor it, the acceleration doesn't build, it explodes. It's like getting hit by a truck from behind. The supercharger whine mixes with that V8 roar, and suddenly you're traveling at illegal speeds. But here's the thing, it feels easier. The car is doing so much of the work for you. Is that bad? No, it's just different. Here's something that numbers can never measure: legacy, cultural impact, what these cars mean to people. The 1970 Challenger came out during the golden age of muscle cars. This was the peak, the absolute zenith before emissions regulations and the oil crisis killed the party. For one brief, glorious moment, American manufacturers were in an arms race to build the fastest, loudest, most outrageous cars possible. And the Challenger? It was Dodge's answer to the Mustang and Camaro. It said, we can build something better. And they did. That car became a symbol of freedom, of power, of American excess in the best possible way. Fast forward to today. The 2026 Challenger is the last of its kind. Dodge has announced this is it. The end of the V8 muscle car era. They're going electric. And while that might be necessary for the future, it's the end of an era. The 2026 Challenger carries the weight of 56 years of history on its shoulders. It's not just a car, it's a love letter, a final goodbye, a last hurrah before everything changes forever. That's why people are crying about it. That's why these cars are selling for above MSRP, because everyone knows this is it, the last of the great American muscle cars. So here we are, the moment of truth, 1970 versus 2026. Which one wins? And honestly, that's the wrong question, because these cars aren't competing, they're complementing. The 1970 Challenger represents everything that was pure about the muscle car era. Raw power, mechanical simplicity, the connection between man and machine. It's analog in a digital world. It's a V8 symphony with no computer conductor. If you want to feel what driving used to be, that's your car. The 2026 Challenger, it's the evolution, the refinement, the what if we took everything we learned in 56 years and built the ultimate version. It's faster, safer, more comfortable, more capable. It's a muscle car that can hang with supercars. It's the peak of American V8 performance. But here's the beautiful truth. If you put me in a room with both of these cars and said, choose one, I'd take them both. Because they represent different things, different eras, different philosophies. The 1970 is the heart, the soul, the raw emotion. The 2026 is the brain, the technology, the refined execution. Together, they tell the complete story of American muscle. And that story? It's legendary. All right, Car Battle Zone family, that's the Showdown. 56 years, 2 legends, 1 incredible lineage. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. If you could only choose one of these challenges, which would it be? The raw, visceral 1970 HEMI, or the technological beast that is the 2026 Demon? And tell me why. I read every single comment, and I love hearing your perspectives. If you enjoyed this deep dive into American muscle history, smash that like button. It helps us keep bringing you these epic comparisons. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss when we drop the next battle. We've got some insane matchups coming up. Trust me, you don't want to miss them. I'm your host, and this is Car Battle Zone. Until next time, keep the rubber burning and the V8s roaring. Peace.